Okay, so I actually filmed this earlier, Gems, but I had to refilm it because it didn't go through. So hopefully this time I don't get all emotional. I won't be crying. I won't be doing all what I was doing earlier. First off, I want to say I hope y'all had a good day. Clearly, I'm in workout clothes because I went running and all that today. I'm about to have company over because I'm watching my cousin's kids. So this is gonna have to be like really, really sweet. I really wanted to put this out because this is one of those type videos where I always feel like, oh, I don't want to put it out. Oh, I don't want to put that much in my business. Or, oh, I don't want to say this, or I don't want to say that. But let me tell y'all something. Just because it's the holiday season does not mean to allow yourself to be pressured, to be lied on, to be put in situations where you have to deal with family that you don't typically deal with on a typical day, or even friends, or whatever the case. I had a situation, and it's not just today. This has been festering. This has been building. It's something I've been diligently praying and fasting on. It's something that really does hurt my heart. It makes me feel bad because this person is supposed to be a really close person to me. With that being said, once you get married, you know, your husband or your wife, your kids, that becomes your intermediate family. If you as a family establish boundaries and ask for certain things for respect, that is not to be challenged or questioned by anyone, especially if it's not anything where you're in a situation where you're being hurt or, you know, anything. It's just stuff to edify yourself. You don't have to answer or owe to anybody. If I specifically say, hey, this year we choose not to travel. We choose this year to spend amongst ourselves and just grow as a family. And if we have opportunity to travel, we're going to do it as a family. That should be respected, not questioned, not challenged, not, well, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with that. If you don't call my kids every day, you don't talk to my kids every day, you don't call me or talk to me unless it's for mess or you need or want something, I don't consider that edifying to my life. I don't consider that if every time I talk to you it's always something and you bringing up something or you making something an issue and then that's not even an issue, and then you hang up the phone and you calling another sibling or someone else close in the family and you're ranting and saying all this stuff that's just not true, number one, and number two, making stuff a big deal. I don't have time for that. My health, my Christianity, my children, my spouse, my business. I have so many other things, you know, that my attention can go to. Yes, I love my family. Yes, I love my friendships. I cherish those things because without those things, I couldn't be the person that I am. But if you continuously are having the same thing with somebody and they just never try to meet you halfway, or they never, and it's always something, and it continues to escalate and it continues to build, and it's every time it's something else worse or it's something else coming out, then now it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I've done where I haven't talked to you. I've done where I've said, you know what, I'm just going to take a step back, or I'm going to do this. If you want to cut somebody out your life, you don't have to announce that you're cutting that person out of your life. You can slowly take steps, or you can just take the step, take the leap, and pray about it and make sure that that's what's for you. And at the end of it, if you feel like, I literally feel like a weight has just been lifted off of me today. Earlier today, when this person did what they did, I was really upset because, number one, you went to an elder in the family who is clearly, you know, just not in the best thing and all of this stuff, and you made comments and said stuff that was not true. Just not true. And you don't even really talk to this person like that. You only call that person or come over when you really need something or stuff like that. So it is in another thing just to try to take a hit. Then when I tried to talk to this person and really just be like, well, hey, did you insinuate that? Did you say that? Then you go into like, well, yeah, I did, but so what? It's the same thing as this and that and da 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 da. And so like that, you have no remorse. But then when it comes back on you, now you want to call and try to apologize and have remorse for something. If somebody is always rendering an apology after they did something, they're not sorry. If you keep doing something to a person and you keep doing something to a person, and then your excuse is always, well, I'm sorry, I was out of character. No, that is your character. Start trusting people when they show you who they are the first time, no matter who they are. Mother, father, grandparent, grandfather, uncle, auntie, sister, cousin, best friend, close friend, play friend, whatever it is, start trusting people. Because one thing God has revealed to me, it hasn't been many people that he's taken out of my close realm, but it is people that, you know, were close enough to where I would have been like, you know, dag, I don't understand, or dag, I'm always kind of helping them. They never, if a person is never there for you, but you're always there for you, it's funny. I've always been there for this person to render prayer. I've always been there for this person to be a listening ear. I have never judged. I have never condemned. I have never spread lies. I have never just done that in general. I really don't even talk about this person, because this person is not somebody who calls me. This person is not somebody that does, you know, comes around. My thing is, when you do come around, it's out of your convenience. I am the type of person, I invite everybody to stuff. So say if my kids are having something, I'll invite everybody. I don't get upset if a person can't make it. I've never been that type of person. I just believe out of respect, you should extend invitations. If you're hosting something and you're trying to open up your house, you extend the invitation, because you just never know what somebody else is going through. I've never been one to sit back and get upset if I host something and people don't come, because I like to be with my family, my husband, my kids, myself. I actually enjoy doing that. I don't like, I'm not a person that rips and runs the street. I get out if I have to. You know, when I go on vacations, I've been out the country plenty of times. When I go on vacation, I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be talking about dramatic shit, traumatic stuff, mess, all of that. That's just not how I live my life. The people that I have in my circle, those are not the things I talk about. And I know that is why people always center and gravitate towards me. So I'm saying all this, y'all, to say this. I don't care who it is, what you think. For me, I struggle because I feel like the relationship that person and I have, the blood relationship that person and I have, that's the part as a Christian that always bothers me, because I'm just like, well, that's my such and such, so I shouldn't be in a situation where I don't want to be around this person, or I don't want to talk to this person, or I really don't want to deal with this person. Even today, when I simply said, you know what, you don't need to apologize, it is okay, I'm done with it, let's just leave it be. No, this person continued on with whatever it was, trying to get the reaction out of me or an argument out of me, until I said, you know what, I've made the decision today that I really just would appreciate if the few calls that you render, you just don't call anymore. Or, you know, whenever we see each other, we just be cordial and kind of leave it with that. It turned into, oh, well, I can't talk to your kids and all of this anymore. I didn't say any of that to you. I just simply said, as far as me. See, I don't like people that's always pressing a boundary, always looking for a reaction, always trying to add more or put more into a situation than what it is. I may seem like I'm coming off, y'all, to where I'm not really, like, I'm more angry, but I'm not. I'm more hurt, and I'm just trying to not go into crying, because when I filmed this earlier, I was in tears filming this, and I'm not going to do that again. I'm not, because then I give power to this situation. My thing is, I wanted to share it because I feel like, I know God don't put more on you than you can bear, and I know it's always somebody else going through something way bigger, way more than what I'm going through, but it's also other people that may be going through the same thing I'm going through, or have gone through it, or whatever. So I believe sometimes putting it out there helps to deal kind of with it and helps other people. I don't believe you don't have to be ugly to people. You don't have to announce that you need space or you don't want to be. I think just because of the circumstances that happened forced me to say, you know what, I'm at a place where I'm just like, we're okay. You know, I wish you the best. I always pray for you. I love you. But as far as this thing between you and I'm just kind of closing this chapter and I'm done with it, because I need peace for myself. And if I sit down and I reflect, the majority of the uneasiness or the majority of the confusion that always comes in typically stems around certain people. And I just have to be not so much guarded, but continuously prayed up. And that's okay to be prayed up, but at some point you have to stop pouring your energy into things that don't deserve your energy. So that's where I'm at right now. Y'all continue to pray for me, because it's not going to be easy, just because of the blood relationship that I have with this person, and the fact that I always want to be a good role model for myself. I always want to be able to make sure I'm making correct decisions for myself, and I always want to be a good example for my kids. But I think, like, when you have kids involved in stuff, you don't always have to disclose, and your relationships with certain people shouldn't determine the relationship someone else has with them. You know, I think a lot of times, especially in families, people get in situations with one person and then they try to turn the other people against it, instead of allowing whatever naturally is going to happen between them. Now, in my situation, it was just a low blow, because to bring up my kids, you don't call my kids, you don't talk to my kids like that. You really only see my kids when I go to a certain family member's house. Other than that, you really don't. If you come up here from out of town, typically you'll come visit, and that's like whenever. I've never called you and said, hey, can you be sure to come to this? Hey, you need to be at that. I haven't. So for me, I just think it was another thing to try to agitate a wound or try to make stuff more than what it was. But hopefully, y'all, because for me, I don't just live my life built around the holiday season. Like, I believe in creating memories. Whatever I did yesterday creates a memory for today. And I believe that you should always live your life in a way that no matter what day you're on, what event it is, whatever it is, you always create something that you can look back on and you can feel good about. For me, just because it's the holidays doesn't give an excuse, but it forces you sometimes to be in situations with people who you wouldn't on a regular basis be around. So if that is if that is you this holiday season, if that is you outside of the holiday season, and you find yourself in a situation where you have to be around somebody that you're just not in a good space with, period, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, then my words, y'all, is you don't have to be ugly. Take your time and, be cordial. Or if you're like me, I'm not really a fake person. I don't like speaking and doing all that just because, but I can be cordial. Just don't do extra. Don't find yourself trying to force a conversation, trying to do anything. Stay your distance, do whatever it is you do, and don't let somebody else ruin something for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to not go to something because somebody's there. Just find your happy median in it all, and that's the best advice I can give y'all. Because for me, this is definitely going to probably be tough and be new because just of who it is in blood relation to me. But at the end of it, when I'm not dealing with this person, I have so much peace in my life. And it's sad that a person would deliberately try to always say stuff about you that's not true. But anyway, so my people are here. I'm gonna have to let y'all go. Bye. I gotta answer the door.